Hi, everyone. I am Donna Reed, and this is Donna Reed Talks Voice. And today I'm working with Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
So, Michelle's in New York, and give us a little bit of your background. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, my name is Michelle Encarnacion. I am a Puerto Rican soprano. I've been based in New York for the past 10 years or so. I started singing Whitney Houston every day of my life until I turned in my mid 20s where I switched gears towards classical. I've sang jazz, gospel, many other genres, but classical is the genre that I've been continuously studying for the past few years. I am considered a light lyric coloratura soprano, so mainly my rep is Mozart, Handel, and some coloratura pieces from Rossini and French composers.
Wonderful. This makes my heart happy because my first love is opera. Don't get me wrong, I adore musical theater, and I'm really good at teaching belting and all of that good stuff. But I don't know. Opera is just, it's my thing. It's like, oh, this is
Yeah.
my little happy place. So I'm really happy to be working with you with that. And what I do with my opera singers, and I'm going to see where you're going and what it is you need to work on. But sometimes I show them how to do this little mixy belty thing because it actually helps the high notes.
Mhm.
So, but we may or may not get into that. I have to hear what your voice is doing. Is there anything, let me ask you, in particular you want to work on? Is there a part of your voice that you're not happy with, that you think you need help with?
Um, well, I'm getting into for the past year or so my voice. I feel that it's been in the best shape that it's been, mainly because as a pop singer, my voice used to be very swallowed. So now it's more forward, present, and round. So it's just being conscious and aware while I sing to maintain that level of resonance without pushing the air or even sometimes collapsing. I took a lot of Alexander technique classes and I continuously do yoga and I work out just to make sure that my body's in a good state while I sing. So those are
Yeah.
the things that I usually work with.
Okay, great, great, great. Yes, the idea of not collapsing is very excellent. Because again, what happens when we collapse, and I always talk about the rib cage, is then we push the air out. You're right, being aware of not pushing the air out. I'm glad you took a lot of Alexander. I don't know if you know about my background. I'm also an Alexander
Yeah.
teacher. So yes, the idea that we don't need to push out the air. I'm going to give an analogy since you mentioned that. My late husband used to talk about blowing up a balloon. If you blow up a balloon, he said the balloon blows up, right? He said if you open up the valve of the balloon, then it makes those funny little noises. He said you open that up and the air wants to escape. You don't have to take the balloon and push the air out. It's the same when we sing. Soon as you open up the vocal cords to phonate, to make phonation, you don't need to push the air out. You just open up the cords and the air wants to come out. So
Mhm.
that whole idea about support and we have to push or we have to do something like that usually ends up pushing the air too hard. You push the cords apart, then you have to compensate to not get a breathy sound. So yeah, you have the right idea with that. That's wonderful. But let's see where you're at, and then I'll just see, what wants to happen. Again, you know how I always start. You've watched my YouTube channel. Exhale, inhale, just get the air moving, move your arms up, and that allows the rib cage to expand, to contract. Now, as you're doing that, the rib cage contracts in a way that it doesn't contract when you're singing. Because, and try it a couple more times. Yeah, you can move around, whatever, just kind of get your body loose. Because when you exhale, and there's no resistance because there's no phonation, the cords are apart, the rib cage will do that. But again, as I said with the balloon analogy, if there's phonation, the cords will stay together, so the rib cage doesn't go whoosh. It just kind of hangs there and does its little thing.
Mhm.
Beautiful. Now, with an ooh, because I almost always start everybody with an ooh in the head voice. So ooh and then down legato. See where you're at.
Ooh, ooh.
That was
Right?
perfect. That was perfect. Yeah, that was great. Don't judge anything. Don't try to make it anything. I'm just hearing where your voice is. I'm hearing where you're going, and my next step will be determined by what I'm hearing. Right. So you just let it do anything. Let it be terrible. Let it be whatever. Just be spontaneous with it. And obviously, you have a beautiful voice. Just let it do its own thing. Good. Now, as you go lower down with this ooh, the head voice is going to be very dominant. You let it be dominant. Don't worry that it sounds weak. Don't worry about making it go into a chest voice. Just let it do its thing. And one more. Beautiful. Just like that. Tell you what, we're going to start right off with the ah. And I'm starting it low. So obviously you're going to start with some kind of a chest voice. See where it wants to go. Now, I'll tell you what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is that the chest voice is not very chesty. It's kind of a chesty, heady mix, right?
Mm.
All right. Let's see what happens if we just do this. 3 times with ga, ga, ga.
Ga 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 ga.
Yeah.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
Now that's a different kind of chest voice. So what I noticed, and I kind of thought so a little bit with your introduction, since you started out with more chest voice, Whitney Houston, all of that, and then you turned classical, what I'm hearing right now it may not be when you sing a piece of music, I'm just telling you what I'm hearing at the moment, is there's a little bit too much head voice in your chest voice in the bottom. In general, what I find is people who do pop or musical theater, more chesty oriented things, they don't have enough head voice. Classical singers don't have enough chest voice. So you have this amazing chest voice. Don't deny it, because even if you're singing classically and you're below a middle C, you need that kind of a chest voice mix. You know, you in denying the chest voice down there, you're not going to help the head voice higher up. Now, I'm guessing that you have the notes above high C, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could hear that because you have these low notes. And again, I've explained it before to my listeners, but I'll explain it again. 2 voice types have notes that low. I think we went as low as the F or maybe the E just now. Real mezzo sopranos with thicker vocal cords, and coloraturas such as yourself, because it has to do with the way the arytenoid system, i.e., the chest voice participation, participates above a high C. It's similar to what's going on down there. So a lot of times a high soprano who has these low notes will be mistaken for a mezzo soprano simply because they have low notes. But obviously,
I was
pardon?
being trained. I was being trained as a mezzo until I was 23.
Yes, that makes perfect sense to me because you have low notes. Now I'm the same way. I always had low notes, but there is no way I'm any kind of a coloratura. I'm a mezzo. You know, I've always had low. I had the C, fine, that was easy, but never had those C sharp D up there. Nope, not for me. But when you have those notes, yeah, you're definitely more of a coloratura. But don't deny these chest voice guys down there, because even though you're not going to sing that low, obviously, still maintaining that idea is going to help with these notes up there. That also means that if you want to turn around and just sing something Whitney Houston or belty, you can certainly do that, because my best belters all have the notes above a C. And in the exercises, I keep them up there even though all they do is the mixie belt. You can do the same. That mixie belt in the middle is actually going to help you maintain those high notes. So every once in a while, belt out the Whitney Houston. It's okay to do that because you could switch genres. But now let's see what's going on here. Let me have you do this. on an ah fast. I mean, you can hear the notes. I don't play well, obviously, but you hear the notes when I'm doing. So da 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 da. Do it on an ah. Just let it fly. And again, don't worry if anything's out of tune. I just want to hear your voice fly and see what happens. Exactly. Good. Now, you can obviously go higher. I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to try and experiment here. Do the exact same thing on an E vowel. Now, obviously, when you go higher with the E, it's going to change. You just let your voice do whatever, but definitely start with an E. Don't try to volitionally modify the E. Just let your voice go wherever. Yep, and just let it go to whatever weird place it wants to go. Try that guy again. Let it be very strange on top, especially because you're doing it with an E vowel.
Yeah.
You thought about that one.
Yeah, I did. I was like, yeah, let's get there.
I can tell that you thought about it. I'm going to have you do it one more time. But you know what I'm going to have you do? I'm just going to have you move around. So just move around like that and sing it. Breathe and sing. Exactly. See, because what happened when you thought about it, even if you didn't want to, your body did a little, It's like, oh no, it's a high note. And this one was much easier and more clean when you just moved around a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was the E flat. I'm sure you could even go higher, but I'm not going to do that right now. Now, the one thing I'm going to point out, again, it's the idea that when we sing classically, we sometimes think that the ah needs to be too round, especially your voice type shouldn't have that rounder sound. Now, when you did the ah to me, even fast, sounded a little covered. Now, did you hear how clean the sound was when you did the E?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to have you do is we're going to start down here again. So we're going to start low, and we're not even going to go that high. I'm sure you have plenty of air to do it twice. So you're going to go da 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 2 times. First time E, second time ah. Let the ah be like the E.
Mm-hmm.
So the ah's a little bit more ah. Yes. Now let me ask you this. Do you like that ah?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The other ah was just a little bit covered, had a little bit of thing. And especially if you're singing Italian and if you're singing classically, ah is an ah. You know, it's not all. It's not that classical sound. So I'm not going to do the coloratura anymore, but I want to see if we can get the chest voice on the bottom and this ah on the top. So I'm going to have you start, I'm going to have you do this. How do I want to start? How do I want to start? Let me do this. Go back to the ga 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 that we did earlier on. So just 3 times ga ga ga, and you hear that sound.
Ga 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 ga.
Great. Now you hear that on the bottom? Start with that ah, and you're going to do ga 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 ga. Just see where your voice wants to go. Just start with that ga, and just see what the ah wants to do.
Ga 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 ga.
Exactly.
Ga 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 ga.
Yes.
Ga 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 ga.
Brilliant.
Ga 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 ga. Ga 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 ga.
Fabulous.
Ga 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 ga.
Now, why you're laughing? What did you notice? What?
I started chest, and then that last voice was head voice, or sort of very much mixed, and then I went down. It was mixed.
Right, which is fine, which is fine. Now, I don't want you to lose the ability to take this little mixy chest voice up there. You decide then when you want to use it. But I'm going to do this in a practical way because we're going to find out exactly the sound that you want to get that has that nice clear ah for classical singing that's not too heady, obviously not more mixy, Broadway, Whitney Houston belt and all of that. So what is something that you're doing? In fact, do you know Devieni? Do you sing Susanna?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Um
Think so.
let's do you know it memorized?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, beautiful. It's an F if I recall, right?
Yes.
Starts on the C.
It goes to the F. Yeah.
Let's do the beginning of it because what I like about this is that, the I'm sure when you do the high stuff, that's easy, that's flashy. It's this middle stuff
Yes.
that you want to make sure you get just right there with it. Sing the beginning of it. De vieni non tardaro, gioia bella. And let's just see what happens with it, okay? Okay, now, did you run out of breath a little bit there?
I was thinking that I did, but I actually did not. I did have a little bit more.
Okay, now, I like that sound. Do you like that sound?
It could be better.
Oh, no, what do you think could be better about it?
It could be freer because I feel that
Okay,
I felt kind of like I am gonna run out of breath. So I started with this mindset of scarcity when I
okay.
did have plenty.
Okay, I'll fix that for you right now because the register balances themselves are great for that. Okay, great. We don't need to fix that. And then I'm going to do one other line from this aria, but we're going to fix that right now. I'm going to do it. Let me see. I could do it one of two ways. I'm going to do it this way first. You're going to do the same thing, and you're just going to move around. So move around while you sing it and sing the same thing. And then I'm going to try it another way if this doesn't accomplish what I'm hoping. How did that one feel?
Better.
Better. Now, was there still something you don't like?
Um.
Or that felt pretty good?
Yeah, it felt good. It felt good to me.
Okay, beautiful. I'm going to try it one more way anyway. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you exhale. Inhale as you bring your arms up. Keep your arms up and then sing the phrase.
Okay.
Now, did you like that one better than the one before or about the same or what?
I liked it better.
Okay, now I'll tell you what I did. Again, your voice is stunning. It's beautiful, beautiful. And it was working just fine. The only thing is that I could tell your body was getting tight. So the first one I did is, okay, let's just have you move around. And it was great. But by having you exhale and inhale, and it's a long, long phrase, you really allowed the rib cage to expand by keeping your arms up. Then you didn't let it collapse. And when your arms are up this way, it's hard to get tight in here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about your torso wanting to get tight. Do you see? So you've got everything else. Now, I'll tell you where I want to go. Yeah, okay. Now we're going to do the same phrase, but later on. So, finché non splenda in ciel, no torna face. Let's see where that face goes, okay? You could either move around or you could breathe the same way, whatever you're comfortable doing, or none of that. Okay?
Finché non splende in ciel notturna face.
That's what we have to fix. Now, this is what every Susanna does. They don't go into the chest voice. You need to go into the chest voice. Mozart wrote those notes to go into the chest voice. So, we're going to do it. Okay. No. I want you to do, and it's difficult because it starts with an U, turna face. The U may be a little on the heady side, but na face needs to be in the chest. So I'm going to have you do this. Those two notes, I want you to do ga ge ga ge ga ge. It's not too loud, but it's chest voice.
Gage, gage, gage.
Okay, now, can you sing for me? No. Okay, I got it. You're gonna do goo ga ge goo ga ge.
Goo gage, goo gage.
Now, can you sing in that sound? Turna face.
Turna face.
Good. Now, can you sing finché non splenda in ciel? No. And then make that happen for turna face, okay?
Finché non splende in ciel notturna face.
Now, do you hear how it wasn't the same chest voice that you did when we separated it, but it was the right chest voice for this piece of music?
Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot allow that head voice to go all the way down, especially because you have the chest voice to use. A lot of singers will keep that head voice down because they have no choice. They classical singers don't develop the chest voice. You have that beautiful chest voice. And if you don't let that go in those low notes like that, your voice is going to get lopsided.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and then it's not going to be as good or easy on top. Now, some of the handle stuff that you do, I'm guessing also might have a C, sometimes an occasional B, whatever, sometimes maybe an A. But when you're down there, you definitely need to have this little bit more chest voice and not get it too heady sounding.
Mm-hmm.
Now, take it then, the line that's just after that. Finché l'aria è ancora bruna.
Finché l'aria ancor bruna il mondo tace.
See, I wanted to hear the tace, which was beautiful. I wanted to hear, it's a C, and I wanted to hear, well, okay, what kind of mix do you get on that? It doesn't sound weak. It sounds like an ah, sounds like an A. Sounds great. Now, how did you like adding that little bit of chest voice in there for the bottom?
I like it. I've been told before to do it, and I always knew I had the ability to do it, but since I don't know what's the common consensus on it, because most singers I listen to, they go to their head voice, and it's also a good place to go because there's a rest right after that note, so I can breathe again and situate my voice so that I can sing the finkelarian, yeah, the other
Right, right, right.
voice that starts in that C. So I like it. I like it. I think it also gives it character too, and it people can listen to it because at that point the head voice is just so weak.
Yeah,
Just to
exactly,
bring it out.
exactly. So you have the absolute amazing ability to add that chest voice. So because you do, when it sounds weak to you, you can add that little bit of chest voice there.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me sound pompous, but I am giving you permission to do that.
Thank you.
Because that needs to happen, because when it's again, the thing that drives me crazy about classical singers, it's like, what happened to your chest voice? Why? Why are you denying that beautiful chest voice? So you can do that. Your voice is stunning. It's gorgeous. Just these little things here and there, and really tune into your body. Watch that your body, if you feel while you're singing an aria or whatever, there's three things you could do. You could do the moving around that we just did now. You could exhale, inhale, keep your arms up. Or sometimes I have people, kind of hang upside down like they're touching their toes and
Mm,
sing that way. That actually loosens up this area because you're doubled over, you can't get tight there.
yeah.
So that's what you have to watch for. And then that little bit of chest voice in the middle. And, that's all I would kind of tweak for you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's very helpful.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much again. It just, you sound great and you're beautiful and you've got all of the things going, see, so, I'm hoping that, everybody hires you and you do lots of good things.
Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you for having me. This has been very helpful, and I'm definitely gonna apply into my daily practice. Thank you so much. Thanks for
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
bye.
Thanks for watching Donna Reed Talks Voice. If you have any questions for me about this episode, or if you'd like to join me on a future episode, please visit donnareedtv.com and click Contact.